So, guys, we're back here for round 2 of Oath of the Gatewatch game day. We have on the left Frank S. playing some Abzan Red. On the right, Kyle H. playing some Red-Black Dragons. And sure enough, starts off with a Red-Black land. Tapped, dual land. So we will see how this game gets started. Joe back here again with
Schnoz.
So, welcome back. We had a pretty interesting round 1. We're back for round 2, and starting off a little slow with just some lands, but I'm sure it'll pick up pretty quickly with the kinds of decks that we have here with us. So,
just gotta the idea against Red-Black Dragons is to stop as many dragons as you can, because most of the dragons I believe in this deck have haste. So, Abzan Red's gonna try to figure out a way to deal with it. But if he gets off to a good start, he can actually outpace the Red-Black Dragons deck. So, in my personal opinion, I favor the Red-Black Dragons just for the simple fact that that Phoenixes are a thing, and they can absolutely come back and start annihilating.
and here comes the Thopter Engineer, which gives the Thopters that get played haste. Looking for a Thopter token. I don't believe they find one, so they just have a die, a D6 there being utilized. And
has haste, so...
fetch lands have been cracked on both sides, so just getting off to an early start of small creatures for the Red-Black Dragons deck on Kyle's side.
And has hit a land drop every turn, so...
Yep, and already dealt 1 damage with that Thopter. As we mentioned, it does have haste, so he attacked with it. Brought Frank down to 18.
Yep. Alright. It is Frank's turn.
Still cracking more fetch lands on Kyle's side. Still loading screens, as we call it, but taking a little bit of time, shuffling. We're going to see that a lot today, just with fetch lands in the format. It happens.
Another one comes out.
And attacks with it and both Thopters.
Yep. One of them has haste, so he just attacked the...
Well, the Thopters both have haste, but the Engineer, he attacked with the one that was out last turn.
Yep.
So 3 damage more, so it's 15 to 19 currently. You guys can kind of see that at the bottom there with the D20s, the spin downs.
Kalatas, that's a big drop.
Mm-hmm. Goes down to 14 for cracking a fetch land. So Kalatas is a big threat. Going to want to get rid of it. One of the most popular cards from Oath of the Gatewatch. And gets rid of it with a Grasp of Darkness.
-4, instantly pops.
And just swings for 4. Very aggressive. Very important to be that aggressive. That life total hasn't changed yet on the D20 down there, but it will.
Yep. Getting a lot of damage just with Thopter tokens, and there's really not much you can do. And I'm sure he still has dragons in his hand, so next turn, if he doesn't get rid of everything, or at least some type of board wipe right now, I assume that Kyle's going to swing in with some dragons and kind of put the hurting on him.
Yeah, and he's passing his turn. I mean, small incremental damage is kind of a big game right now. You're looking at he's at 10. I know it says 14. Like I said, that die will change pretty quickly. So Frank is looking in his hand, seeing what he's got. I see another land in there. I think, he cracks the Windswept Heath, so he's actually going down to 9, and he remembers to change the D20 there for us and for himself to remind him. So it is 9 to 18.
What is he looking for? What lands does he need right now? Exactly.
He's also looking through his deck. We're seeing some... he gets a Canopy Vista Expedition, so kind of blinging out his deck a little bit there.
Oof. That's a big drop. I wish I had one of those.
That's more... Yeah, exactly. I feel like more intimidation than anything else, just because, showing that he's got that Expedition in there. It's just the same as anybody else's Canopy Vista, except it's, prettier and worth more money. Now, playing a Crackling Doom, so dealing some damage to Kyle and making him sacrifice the creature with the greatest power, but it's just going to be a Thopter Engineer since they all have the same power. The one Thopter Engineer is giving the other one's haste, not that it matters, but Kyle's going to swing in for 3, and in response, one of them will get burned out.
Yep. Kills one.
So he takes 2, goes to 7, And there's a Thunderbreak Regent. Also full art, also foil, very pretty.
Big threat on the field.
And Goblin Dark Dwellers, another foil card, gets played, which causes him to have to sacrifice the Thunderbreak Regent.
Yep. Still going. Oh, wow.
So here comes Kolagon, Storm's Fury, makes the other cards bigger, and Frank is forced to scoop it up.
Too much damage.
Yep.
Too much damage was happening. Like, one thing I definitely noticed is those Thropter tokens were absolutely doing work at the beginning.
Yes.
It was just like, you just need a couple things to back them up. And damage. He had played a couple dragons to get a little more, trying to get a little more damage in. They mostly were stopped with the fact that the Thropter tokens kept getting in for pretty much almost free damage at one point.
It's true. And with the engineers on top, I mean, and combined with fetch lands, Frank was already down to 10, but before any dragon came out on the field at all. So we kind of see them sideboarding a little bit here. And we will be back to you at the start of Game 2 of this round.
All right, we're back at the start of Round 2, Game 2. And try to get a little quicker start for Obs on red, so he's able to actually do something at the beginning. Hopefully, take care of those Thropter tokens if they come out again. If they do, they're gonna, and he has the same type of start. He's gonna get some free damage, so he probably kept a hand that he was able to most likely prevent that, learn from his mistakes.
And if you notice, I mean, the first thing he's got out, the first two things now that he's got out are man lands. So something that kind of, as a little bit of surprise, sometimes your opponent forgets about it. If they're a good enough player, they of course don't. But sometimes your opponent forgets that you can just turn your lands into creatures and block with them. It looks like a Gideon gets drawn on Frank's side on the left there. So in 2 turns, if he has the white source, he can play a Gideon down. That'll be a pretty big game. And especially with nothing on Kyle's field so far. So, and there is 2 white sources, so he does have it.
Just gotta wait to drop it.
Yep, just waiting it out for now.
Pass his turn.
But we know what's coming.
Yeah.
He's also got a Kolagon's Command in Frank's hand. So he uses it. Looks like he's tapping 3. Uses it at the end of the turn, dealing some damage. And let's see, Kyle's deciding what to discard. So life total changes to 17 after the cracked fetch. And he's picking a card to discard. Making a decision.
I think a good idea was to discard a straight up late game card. Yep, okay.
So Kolagon comes down in the graveyard. I don't know. We haven't seen any way for him to get that back, but it's still possible that it's in there. The deck is part black, so
could have sideboarded something to get a creature back from the graveyard, or any card back from the graveyard.
Yep,
it's cracking an option. There's
Gideon, as we called it.
He did. Gideon.
He did.
Very strong play. Now depending on what he does with the Gideon, he'll have some sort of blocker if anything huge comes out. But most of the dragons are flying, so
yeah.
But still, Gideon can go in for a lot of damage.
Yep, Gideon. Well, and especially again, still nothing on Kyle's field. If Kyle doesn't play something this turn, it's looking like he could take up to 6 damage next turn, if not more. So. And again, that's a pretty big game, so you're looking at, that would bring Kyle down to 10, but there's a Draconic Roar, revealing another Kolagon in his hand, so it kills off the Knight ally. So now Frank knows that there's another Kolagon coming, despite the Kolagon that's in the graveyard already, which also was probably a reason why it was an easy pick to get rid of that Kolagon in the first place. There's a Transgress the Mind, gets to look at the hand. So you've got a Sylvan Advocate in there, a Shambling Vent. He gets rid of probably one of the only choices for Kyle. And looks like he draws a Crackling Doom, which is actually a pretty big game as well. That's pretty important.
I don't think you should play anything here. I should just in case anything big comes out on Kyle's turn.
Well, he has the Sylvan Advocate. He's cracking a fetch first. Life total gets changed, but... after that, he has the Sylvan Advocate if he wants, but he doesn't have 6 lands yet, so...
But the fact that he has nothing on the field right now, I mean, he's in defense mode right now. He just wants to protect himself against anything that really comes out, so he doesn't have... He's on the defense. I'm not sure... As soon as you start to go defense against a dragon deck, I mean, you're in pretty big trouble.
And he ticks Gideon up.
Gideon can help out so much, but at least he has a little bit of board presence now. Ooh,
and a murderous cut. Murderous cut comes down for the Sylvan Advocate, takes care of it immediately.
Well, so much for board presence.
Yes, and he delved out some of those cards. You see some of them removed. Crackling Doom immediately comes down as soon as Kolagon hits the field. So you guys see how information in people's hands is super important. Frank knew about the Kolagon and was ready for it, but Kyle also knew about the Sylvan Advocate and was ready for that as well. So taking care of threats, although to be fair, Gideon is coming down and dealing some damage. Kyle is at 9 at this point after taking 4 from Gideon last turn as well as another 1. So yeah, Kyle's down to 9 already.
Yeah, I think Frank's pretty good about this place.
Yeah.
And he scoops, no, after a couple good plays, getting rid of a lot of big cards out of Kyle's play, he was able to definitely come away with a win. Drew the answers, had the answers in his hand for whatever Kyle was going to do. He played defensively for a little while, but it kind of pulled off in the end.
Well, and I got to say, there was not a lot of early play from Kyle in the second game, whereas in the first game you saw that was what helped him a lot. So I don't know whether that was based on sideboarding or if that was just luck of the draw where he just didn't see those Thopter Engineers this time, but that might be something that they'll see if they're going to sideboard now or if they're going to just kind of hop right into Game 3. But we will be back with you for Game 3 as soon as it begins.
Welcome back, guys, to the last game of round 2. We've seen some pretty fiery starts from both decks through Game 1 and Game 2. So
fiery, because they're part red, I get it.
Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome.
But no, in all seriousness, it seems like whoever gets off to a really fast start seems to just go away with the game.
It's true.
So hopefully we'll see some back and forth action between these two decks.
It's true. And not as much sideboarding for this game. There was a lot before Game 2, though, and I don't know how much of it we saw. You really can't tell.
We don't know exactly what was sideboarded, what was not.
What was boarded in, what was boarded out. That's important, as we mentioned. We didn't see the Thopter Engineers. Ooh. Here's a Phoenix for you, a Flamewake Phoenix. So early play after cracking a fetch and gets to attack with it because it has haste. So 2 damage coming in real quick.
Flying haste. It's big. Big thing to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have anything for it?
Yeah, let's see what Frank can do in response. He plays down an Anafenza the Foremost, and it's a little bit difficult to see with a little bit of glare, but keeping the sleeves on the Mythics. So
now he's gonna want to probably keep that. Depending on what he plays, he's probably either want to keep it untapped, so we can at least have some type of blocker. Keep him on the Phoenix. Can come back in certain situations.
Right, and the Anafenza is a 4/4 and the Phoenix is only a 2/2, but if Kyle attacks with the Phoenix, he can get over the top and deal some damage, but he's going to lose that race unless he has something else going on. So he's going to crack a fetch, and there's the Thunderbreak Regent. So yes, he can absolutely attack now. For 2 in the air, not get blocked. His Frank's tapped out, and he's got a 4/4 on the field that's very difficult to deal with.
But considering what starts from these both decks, I definitely feel like it's going to be an all-out slosh fest at this point. They're just going to start punching each other in the face, literally as hard as they can.
Yeah. So we'll get to see if Frank has an interesting way of dealing with the Thunderbreak Regent. Will he take 3 damage in the process, or will he not? He's just attacking for 4. Technically offers the trade. I mean, you don't know what he has in his hand, or at least Kyle doesn't.
Dice is getting switched, so he's absolutely taking the 4.
Yep, and I mean, to be fair, as of right now, once again, nothing else on Frank's field, so it's possible to swing back for 6.
Post-combat main phase, what does he do? Does he have an answer in his hand? I assume if he doesn't play anything, he has an answer in hand, but it seems like he's playing something.
It's true, he's got 3, and he is killing the Phoenix, actually.
Oh, very interesting.
And discarding cards. So it was Kolagon's command, 2 damage to the Phoenix, and he discarded a Thopter Engineer, reminding him that those creatures are going to exile, not to the graveyard, thanks to Anafenza.
From anywhere. Specifically says from anywhere. If any creature goes into the graveyard from anywhere, they get exiled.
Yep, so not only the one that he killed with Kolagon's command, but also the one that got discarded. So they both get exiled. Again, I mean, the Phoenix, that matters a lot because the Phoenix can come back, but the Thopter Engineer, not necessarily as much. We haven't seen anyway yet for Kyle to bring creatures back from the graveyard. So, but has a second Phoenix,
another one in his hand,
and is attacking for 6. and Grasp of Darkness to kill Anafenza. -4, -4.
Oh man! All of a sudden, Kyle's in control of this game.
That was a very big turn, very big turn. And again, if Frank tries to get rid of that Thunderbreak Regent with a spell, he's taking 3 damage, unless it's something fancy like a Crackling Doom to get around it. But that's a big deal. That was a really big turn for Kyle.
Yeah, no, he's got board control at this point. As long as he can keep swinging, he's got this game. See if Frank has an answer for this. If he does, it could swing the game again. This is going back and forth.
Yeah. So there's another fetch land. It could be, another 1 damage. Which right now with the bigger dragons on Kyle's field, 1 damage probably doesn't matter as much, but it's still 1 damage. Never underestimate it. So we'll see. And he passes his turn. So
he has the untapped lands for whatever he's gonna do. So
and there's Kolagon coming down, pumping the other dragons. Now Frank is playing the Abzan Charm, so he may be responding to Kolagon coming down before combat, so that the activation of Kolagon attacking doesn't happen. And Kolagon goes away, gets exiled, and the life total does change. But it looks like it was only 6 damage, not 8 damage, which again, still a difference.
Definitely a huge difference.
But it looks like Frank is going down to 1, and that's it.
Yeah,
he didn't have anything to stop it. Once again, Kyle just came out of the gate swinging 2 big turns in a row.
Once he gave creature -4/-4 and got rid of it, that was pretty much it. Once he cleared the board, that was pretty much exactly what he needed to do in the moment, just to get rid of his gas, get rid of everything he had, put him on the defensive, and as soon as he went on to defensive, that was it. Yeah. It was game over.
And again, that Thunderbreak region is a big deal. Removal spells are important, but if you're targeting either the Thunderbreak region or any dragon, so that would include Kolagon. Once Kolagon came down, you're taking 3 damage to do it, and Kolagon was pumping the other dragons. If he'd stayed out, it would have been a big deal, but Abzan Charm came down, targeting the Kolagon, so there was some damage being dealt, and it was a big deal, but Frank just couldn't follow it up. Yep. So
too much to handle, way too fast, and with the Black-Red Dragon's board control at that exact moment, there's just really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So sort of a quicker round 2, very interesting and exciting nonetheless. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the other rounds in this tournament. Thank you as always for watching. Let us know if you enjoyed it down below. And as we always say, I'm Joe.
I'm Shanaz.
And in whichever video of ours you watch next,
we will see you all next time.
Thanks guys.